I found this house and right on the beach. We're gonna surf. Like, this is gonna be unreal. So we come down and I commit. I go, I will not buy anything with other than Bitcoin. So if I starve, I'll climb a tree and eat coconuts, but I will not, under any condition, spend $1 outside of Bitcoin. And they're like, okay, well, we'll keep some dollars just in case, as the backup. So we had this trip, unbelievable trip. I always say you can never learn about a place until you deeply meet its people. And I was blown away just by the hospitality and people in El Salvador are so amazing. So that was like gem number one. The surf.
Where did you guys stay?
We stayed in San Blas.
Okay.
Yeah, we stayed in San Blas. There was this little surf break right in front of the house. Of course, I had charted out. We were going to go up to El Tunco, El Zonte, and of course Punta Roca. And we didn't leave that surf break once because
there's something nice about not having to get in the car to go anywhere.
Unreal. The trip was super impactful. I ended up holding true to my not spending anything other than Bitcoin.
That's impressive because in that time there wasn't that much adoption yet in San Blas. Now there is. That's actually become the hub for Bitcoiners coming in. Obviously El Zonte is their first. If they can find a place, this is where they come. But there's been so many people coming in that it's hard to find housing. So that San Blas has become kind of the overflow for Bitcoiners. So now there's a bunch of stores there that take it.
It was one of the best learning experiences because, again, I always tell Bitcoiners I'm more interested these days in talking to non-Bitcoiners than Bitcoiners, not because it's just reward. You're learning something every time. So we were going to places, and if they didn't take Bitcoin, we were like, all right, we're gone. Like, and some of them would go, wait, hold on. Okay, bring the thing. We take it. And you go, okay, all right, we take it. Or, we just leave. And I learned so much about real world adoption, by this country being able to do this thing where I could just have this learning zone in real time. And so I learned a ton about it. And on the way back, I was just like, why is I've been involved in unions for 10 years. Why has no union ever put this on the balance sheet? And of course you're like, it's not too different on why adoption here would be a struggle. You have a 10-year negative media campaign against Bitcoin with negative articles every time you pull your phone up. Someone lost their passcode. This is a scam. FTX collapses. I mean, they did a hell of a job in convincing people Bitcoin was super dangerous or a scam. And so I actually it hit me on the plane ride home. Like, what if we just did an initiative where, like our experiences in here, just getting people off of zero, we just did like $1 per member. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Like, right? And so I developed, knowing my background in the unions, I go, let me craft an initiative that I know would be successful. I brought it to my union and said, you guys don't have to do this, but I'm going to try to see if there's other unions that are interested. They were really supportive and said, let's do it. We did it. And that kind of kicked off my work in nonprofits and like educating unions on initiatives. So El Salvador was extremely pivotal. Not to say who knows what route I would have taken, but like everything dominoes line up, and it was a huge part of my experience in Bitcoin in real time.
Yeah. So from El Salvador to you and your work with the unions, and then how did he broach the Bitcoin subject with you? Were you already kind of looking at Bitcoin, or how did that come about?
I knew of Bitcoin. My brother actually was involved, and I had a few friends in the music industry that much younger than me that were talking a lot about it, but more broadly in terms of cryptocurrency and like all these different coins. Mm-hmm. And so that was like the extent of my knowledge. But I don't even remember our first conversation, to be honest with you, about it.
I think it was in the fact that adopting Bitcoin was going to happen. I was slated to speak, and I know there was the ambassador had come up to
there we go. That's how it started.
Elena, and we're at the Soho House, and I think she was there for some event, and I was saying, hey, we should really, you guys as a council should go down coordinate with them, because if you went at the same time as this conference, you can learn a ton about Bitcoin, and it would just be a good experience to see what's happening in El Salvador. There's tons of stuff happening.
Yeah.